Come, let me show you how I actually made 102k net profits by selling one out of my 9 properties. And fun fact, this is the lowest ROI property that I've sold. Out of my 9 properties, this is the second property that I have just sold. I'm going to show you the cost that took me to buy this property, alright, maintain this property as well, and then lastly, what are the profits that I got out of it and what's the ROI. I'm going to be as transparent as possible, detailing all the expenses. You ready? Let's go. So, the purchase price was 695k in 2019, and I've sold it for 750k in 2023. Now, between these two numbers, you're able to calculate the capital appreciation. Alright, so capital appreciation number 3, I'm just going to indicate for you here. This is the capital appreciation. To acquire this property at 695, right, what is my cost of investment? Alright, first of all, I had to pay a 20% down payment. Alright, and 20% down payment is 139k. I had to pay the government stamp duty, and stamp duty is 15,450. I also had to incorporate a company because I used my company to buy, not my personal name. I also had to employ a corporate secretary service. I registered the company for GST for $200, and to get a bank loan, I had to pay $1,000 first. So all in all, the cost of investment here works out to 155,600. Okay, this is the cost of even getting started. Like when we want to claim the GST, alright, there's a quarterly filing, alright, and there's also a yearly filing for about $3,800. Okay, and along the way, right, our tenants changed, and so we have to actually get an agent to negotiate for new rent. So the rental that we paid was $3,500, and to sell the property, we had to pay agent fee $15,000. So all in all, the cost here, alright, is actually $22,500. On the monthly basis, are there expenses? Yes. On a monthly basis, we have to pay the maintenance fee, property tax, and our own mortgage. So what you saw here are one-time costs, like pay, one time, but these are the monthly ones. The monthly ones will be like this. It's about $210 for the maintenance, and then the mortgage was about $2,191. And the property tax is 261.67, thereabouts. Okay, this is on a monthly basis. How then do we cover this cost? Obviously, it comes from the rental that we're going to collect. So if you ask ourselves, like, what was the rent that we were collecting? The rent that we were collecting was probably about $3,600 when it was good. But during COVID, obviously, it wasn't that good. It actually went down to $3,500. And we also had some deferment payment scheme. So certain months it was negative, but then later on they paid us back and everything. But the good news here is that even at $3,500, we were more than enough to cover all these costs, right? If you add it up, it's only about $2,700 or so. So that meant that if we were collecting $3,500, less of $2,700 here, we will have some pocket money left behind. And that is what I mean by cash flow. The first profits that we're going to have, right, is over the 4 years of owning this property, all right, that pocket money, and I just mentioned, over the last 4 years, we collected a total of $40,000, 182.24. We also have principal covered because the tenant was paying the loan for us. So the loan principal worked out to $47,387.51. Last but not least, we had the capital appreciation here, which once you minus it off, you will get $55,000. I think this is the easiest to calculate. Okay, the total profits that we're going to have, total, all three add up, is actually 142,569.75. This is the total profits that we have received over the last 4 years. However, that's not so quick. We need to know net profits is actually total profits minus the total expenses. So my total profits is here. What about my total expenses? So among all these lists, what constitutes as an expense? Let me share with you. Expense I see as unrecoverable costs. That means things that I paid and I cannot get it back on. So for the down payment, I can get it back. When I sell, I can get it back. However, for the stamp fee that I paid to IRAS, right, I can't get it back. So this is an expense. Incorporating a company also an expense, corporate secretary, GST registration, even though it's a one-time fee, it's also an expense, bank loan fee, when I claim the GST, my annual filing, I pay the agent commission. All these are expenses. And once I add up all these expenses, okay, I realized that my total expense would be 40,100. So take my total profits minus away my total expense, I will get a net profit. And my net profit is equal to 102,469.75. This is net profit. Now, once again, a lot of people are saying, hey, then why this one you never calculate? This is an expense also. No, wait, because the rental already covered this expense, and not only that, I still have pocket money that worked out to be part of this cash flow. So this has been accounted for. Last but not least, let's ask ourselves, how much did the money work for me? How hard did it work for me? Now we need to know ROI. ROI, which is how many percent am I getting every year? So ROI, how do we calculate? It's a very simple thing. We take the net profits, okay? We take the net profits divided by our cost of investment. So how do we get that? As you can see, we have the net profits here. So we're going to put it here, divided by what? What is our cost of investment? Our cost of investment is actually here. Just show you guys. This is the cost of investment to get started. We're going to divide it by here. Okay, we are going to get a total of 65.85%. Okay, and I spent 4 years holding on to this property. So if I were to divide it by 4 again, I will get a total of 16.46%. So as you know, this property has the lowest ROI at 16.5% compared to other properties that have sold. And I think it's still a decent number because compared to a lot of other instruments, this is really higher than them. You can also see that this 16.5 came from all these calculations and all these cash flow expenses that we calculate very, very carefully, right? So as a seasoned investor, we know that cash flow is like very, very important. But recently, okay, I discovered a cash flow game that simulates all these calculations, right? And even as an investor myself, I also make mistakes in the game. And that was really eye-opening, right? So I actually want to invite my clients and all my friends, right, to come and play this game called Cash Flow Game because I think there's a lot of things that we can learn from it. And you guys being my followers, I just want to also invite you guys, maybe like first 1,000 followers here to make it a small event so that we can learn from each other and learn from the games because I think we don't want to make a $1 million decision wrongly in the real market. If there's anything we can learn, we should learn from the game itself. Alright, so if you're interested to join the cash flow game, right, the link to register is in my bio. Alright, and I hope to see you there. Hey, sorry, forgot to mention the cash flow game is free one. So just come and learn. Alright, see you.